Hello everyone. My name is Janice. I wanted to talk to you tonight about why I'm in Florida and why I'm at Valencia College. My husband used to talk about his aunt and uncle that went to Florida every year for vacation. They would bring him back postcards and pictures and a lot of different things, and just explain to them how much fun they had in Florida. I thought Florida sounded wonderful. Pennsylvania was a little boring, and I hated the ice. I was the one in the ice who used to fall and or drive their car to the sidewalk because it slid right into slid in with the ice into the sidewalk. My husband was in the Navy, and when he was ending his time in the Navy, they offered to move us anywhere we wanted to move. We both looked at each other and said Orlando, Florida. We packed up the kids and came to a place called Disney World. When we first moved down and got our first apartment, we didn't have any cell phones or phones in our apartment, so we had to use a payphone outside. Does anybody remember what a payphone is? A long time ago, new technology. However, that's the only way I could communicate with my family. So one night, late in November, I was calling my sister, and I was telling her how wonderful Florida was, which it is, but I told her how sunny and warm it was, and I was freezing that night. That was the coldest, longest winter, I think, that we've had since I've been in Florida. My sister then told me that her and her husband were going to move to Florida, which I got so excited because I did miss my family at home, and it just meant a lot to me that her husband and her were going to actually be in Florida with us. Later on, my husband was going to Florida Southern evening classes, and he had an English professor which he came home one night and said that I would love. He knew that I loved history, so he said I should go to college. We made our arrangements and our schedules, and I went to Florida Southern, majored in history, and minored in political science. I loved it. I totally loved it, but I got pregnant with my last child, and so I did drop out. And finally, my youngest went to elementary school, and I said, okay, now I'm free. However, during the first PTA meeting, I was elected PTA president, and I accepted, and so I volunteered for additions, ended up being a coordinator of additions, and also companioned with Green Up Orlando to beautify our school. I was working, or volunteering, I should say, 40 hours or more a week at the schools. So when finally my youngest went to high school, I then had time to decide to do something, and I decided to get a job. I landed a job at Laptops Plus as a service administrator. I loved it. It was a new company, so I had to teach myself everything, which I did. But unfortunately, after the last few years, things went downhill with them, and I had to get rid of my helpers, assistants, and then finally I lost my job, and so did our tech. After 15 years of being with Laptops Plus, I cannot say that I wasn't devastated, because I was. However, I did go to workforce, and WIA ended up giving me a grant to go to Valencia College to study as a paralegal, and I did, and I love it, and I'm excited about being back in